10 things you should know before getting locks. Number one, locks are not damage proof. I feel like many people think that because locks do not break the way loose natural hair breaks, then they think that they can just do anything they want and maltreat their hair and everything will be fine. That is not true. If you engage in bad hair practices, even when you have locks, you're going to experience damage. Number two, you're going to become more tender-headed when you get locks. And this is actually something that I wish I knew. Because when I was starting my lock journey, I had all these, like I had so many ideas. I'm going to style my hair, I'm going to do this, going to do that. But see, let me tell you, once you get locks, I don't know why. I think I know why. It's probably because, you know, when you have locks, you have more shed hairs on your head. So your hair tends to get heavier. I use that word with caution because it's not like your hair is going to feel heavy. For some people, it may happen like that, but there are things that you can do. I'll talk about that later. But basically, when you get locks, you tend to become more tender-headed. All those tight hairstyles that you used to do when you had loose natural hair, all those tight ponytails and puffs that you used to do without having any issues. Once you have locks, once you get into like 1 year or 2 years into your lock journey, you realize that any little thing you do, you start to have headaches. So if you wear puffs or ponytails for a very long time, especially if it's tight, then you're going to start having headaches. The next thing you should know is that having locks can be easy, but it can also be difficult. It depends on you. There are certain people who have locks and their life revolves around their hair. You know, that is a possibility. But if you want, it can also be easy. It depends on your goals and what you're doing to your hair. Number 4, and this is actually something I really enjoy talking about, is that the more locks you get, the bigger your hair is going to be. So if you're about to start your lock journey and you want fuller hair, then get more locks. If you're not really concerned about having bigger hair, then get fewer locks. Now, number 5. This is something that I really wish I knew before starting my locks. And quite frankly, I don't think many people realize this. And that is that smaller locks take longer to hang. The smaller your locks, the longer you're going to have to wait to see obvious growth with your hair. And that's why you notice that many people who have micro locks, they go 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Sometimes some people even get to 4 years, depending on how long their natural hair was or their loose hair was when they started their locks. Some people may have to wait up to 4 years before their hair becomes the length of hair that they started with, like the length of their loose natural hair. So when you have bigger locks, in a very short time, the weight of the locks starts to reduce how much shrinkage you have to battle with. But I feel like the smaller your locks, the longer you're going to have to deal with shrinkage, and that will mean that you're not going to see growth with your locks as quickly as someone who has bigger size locks. So this is something that you may have to think about. You know, before I said that the smaller your locks, the bigger your hair is going to be. So this is like you're getting volume, but you're going to have to be a little bit more patient with the length if you go for the smaller size locks. Number 6 is, and I wish I knew this, I didn't really know this. I had an idea, but I did not really understand the gravity of this when I started my locks. And that is that you're still going to need to detangle your hair, especially if you don't want your locks to become one big Congo. If you're free-forming 100% and you just allow your locks to do whatever they want to do, then this doesn't apply to you. But if you are someone who wants to have a little bit of control or a lot of control over your locks, over the number of locks that you have, over the size of locks that you have, then just know that you're still going to need to detangle. Now, it's not going to be exactly like how it was when you had loose natural hair, because I know that detangling was a headache for many people, and it still is. If you have loose natural hair, then you probably understand. But just know that you're still going to need to detangle your locks. But you know, with loose natural hair, your tangles, the detangling happens along the length of your locks, mostly along the length of your lock, or along the length of your hair rather. But with locks, you are still going to need to detangle the roots of your hair, because your roots will start to marry and merge, and so you have to, you know, detangle basically. Now you're not going to be detangling the way you'll be detangling your loose natural hair, obviously, because if you do that, you're going to damage your locks, but you're still going to need to detangle. And that's why I think that finger detangling is a very valuable skill to have, regardless of whether you have locks or loose hair. As long as you have natural hair, as long as your hair is not relaxed, being able to properly finger detangle is going to be like, it's a game changer. I know that that was really helpful for me when I had loose natural hair, and now that I have locks, it is still, I don't even know, I think no, it's not more important now that that I have locks, but it's something that it's a very valuable skill. So if you've not started your locks yet, I strongly advise that you learn how to finger detangle your loose natural hair, because it's going to really help you when you eventually get locks. Now, number 7. This is another point that I wish I knew that I did not know. Is that locks, contrary to what many people think, you have many styling options when you have locks, especially if you have small size locks. You can basically do literally anything that you could do with your loose natural hair with your locks. However, you're most likely not going to maximize all your styling options, because I don't know, there's just something about having locks that just makes you lazy. So like now, for me, it's either I'm wearing my locks down, or I'm wearing a high ponytail or a low ponytail. And sometimes there's this pompadour kind of style that I do. I'll put a picture on the screen or somewhere, or link it in the description box to show you guys the style. I do that occasionally, but those are basically all the styles that I do. And before I started my locks, I thought I was going to style here, style there, do this, do that, because for those of you that, you know, have been subscribed to my channel for a very long time, since when I had loose natural hair, you guys know that I was the queen of styling. You know, I loved playing in my hair, and I thought that I would still be doing so much to my hair, basically, to my locks, basically on a daily basis. I'll be styling, you know, doing all sorts of styles. But see, when you get locks, you just become lazy. There's just something about no matter how much you love styling your loose natural hair, there is a very high chance that when you start your locks, if you give yourself 1 year or 2 years, you're going to become lazy, and you're just going to be wearing 1 or 2 styles literally every day. Now, another thing that you have to know, I feel that you have to know before starting your locks, and this is something that I'm really thankful for, is that locks buy you time. Because caring for locks is so easy, it just gives you more time to do other things with your life. When I had loose natural hair, I was not one of those people that would spend 5 hours on wash days and things like that. I was not, my wash days were basically maybe 2 hours, 3 hours maximum. But even for me, when I started my locks, it was still like I have, because taking care of locks is so easy, I had so much free time that it was like, I don't know what to do with all this free time. And so I think when you start locks, you tend to have more time to do other things that you enjoy, which is, I think it's a blessing. So if you're someone and you're probably going into a busy phase of your life, I strongly advise you to start locks, even if you go for small size locks, because generally the bigger your locks, the less time you're going to need to spend on your hair, right? But even if you go for the very small size locks, even if you go for micro locks that require more time, you're still going to be spending less time than if you had loose natural hair. So that's something I wish everyone knew, and I think that it's actually, most people know about this basically, but you don't really understand the gravity of it until when you eventually start your journey. Number 9. This is something I really enjoy about having locks, is the fact that your hair is always done. When you have locks, you can just get up and go. You don't have to, if you don't want to, you don't have to spend time styling your hair before stepping out of the house. As soon as you wake up, your hair is done. Number 10 is that when you first start locks, it's absolutely normal for you to have people ask you stupid questions. Some of those questions are stupid, but it's normal for you to have people who don't understand what it is that you're trying to do, especially if you start with the organic method of locks, where you're starting with twist or the Lilian Okibe locks or whatever, where it's like your hair is frizzy and that beginning stage, it looks like what is happening, you look so unkempt and you look scruffy and all of that. It's normal for you to have people ask you questions and ask you, when are you going to do your hair and things like that. But eventually, people are going to get used to the idea that you now have locks. So it's going to get easier. Even though it may seem like, it may seem very difficult in the beginning, but it is definitely going to get easier as your locks get more mature. So we're going to stop here. There are so many things I feel like people should know before getting locks. I have a very, very long list, but let's just stop with 10. Let's stop here. So if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to work with me on a one-on-one basis, there are so many ways you can do that. You can enroll for my online course, which is basically a pre-recorded course that you can finish at your own pace. So I basically give you step-by-step what to do, how to start, how to retwist and maintain and wash and style to have locks that look like this. The link will be in the description box. If you also want to have a one-on-one consultation with me, that's also available. The link will also be down in the description box. So with that, we'll come to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned one or two things. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if this is your first time on my channel and you'd like to subscribe, then definitely subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.